SBRForum videos, I'm Natalie Rydström. The 2013 French Open is headed into the quarter-finals round, and here with us now to discuss all the betting value with odds courtesy of Pinnacle is SBRForum contributor Nila Amerova. Nila, thanks for joining us.
Hi Natalie, thanks for having me.
Roger Federer is favoured by -170 against Wilfried Tsonga. Given Federer's usual odds playing anyone outside the top 5, this price actually seems quite playable.
Yes, Natalie, definitely. It is. It's a great price on Federer, somebody of his caliber and quality, especially the Grand Slam level, at -175. 170, sorry. It's a bargain price on him. So anybody looking to back Federer for the win against Tsonga, I think definitely should jump on that price. You won't get Federer at a shorter price than that, I think. In a matchup as monumental as this one is, and especially considering that Tsonga really has a chance to beat Federer as well.
Okay, so definitely a good play there then. Now, David Ferrer is expected to walk through Tommy Robredo with a line set at -1500. Will this be as one-sided of an affair as the odds suggest?
I certainly hope not. I'm really made up for Tommy Robredo personally. I think his run at the French Open is quite the Cinderella story, and I think there's a few people, more than a few, that feel the same way. If you saw his last match against Nicolas Almagro when he fell down to the ground and literally burst into tears, I mean, I got jammed up a bit too. So I kind of hope it's not going to be as one-sided as the market is suggesting, but it kind of does. You can't say it won't be, because one has to consider the fact that Robredo has played 3 back-to-back 5-set marathon matches, and in all 3 he was forced to come back from 2 sets down. So you wonder how much does he have left in the tank and what he can bring against David Ferrer, a player who one might add is coming into great form into the French Open and has advanced into the quarterfinals quietly without dropping a set. So Ferrer does look to be quite the heavy favorite, and deservedly so.
Okay, now let's not forget to mention Novak Djokovic. He's a big favorite against aging Tommy Haas at nearly -1000. Are you surprised this line isn't any higher?
Actually, I kind of am surprised that it isn't a bit lower. I know that Tommy Haas is definitely 35, but he's been playing great tennis. And that match against John Isner was an epic. To show that kind of mental fortitude to survive, I think 12 match points he had, and to still come back and 12 match points in the 4th set, I should add, and then to come back in the 5th set and still somehow manage to come back and win that match. I mean, that just shows such mental focus and commitment. And there's also the other thing to consider as well, that Tommy Haas beat Djokovic in Miami earlier this year. So he definitely does know how to play Djokovic and has had some success against him. And if he's given even the slightest opportunity against Djokovic, he really could mastermind the upset, which would be huge. It's a long shot, but I just think the quality that Tommy Haas has and what he brings to the table, he could have been a bit shorter in price. But at the end of the day, if anybody backs him at the price that he's at right now, I mean, why not? The returns will be even greater.
Okay. Now, Nadal is just through to the quarterfinals and will either face Stanislas Wawrinka or Richard Gasquet. Now, how big of a favorite will he be against either or?
Good question, Natalie. If he faces Richard Gasquet, I think he will be a heavy favorite for various reasons. I don't think Gasquet has the kind of game to hurt Nadal, although anything can happen, and there's a first for everything. But there's another thing that stuck or impressed me. It was a little bit of a tidbit that I heard, and that was the fact that Richard Gasquet has requested throughout the tournament not to play on Philippe Chatrier court, the main court. And that just that speaks to basically his inability to sort of rise to the occasion, especially him being French. He doesn't like the pressure. And to face Nadal on Philippe Chatrier, which I'm sure it'll be on that court at that point in time, I don't think he'll have a choice. If he comes into that kind of a match, which is a big match, to try to beat a 7-time champion with that kind of a mindset, I don't think he's going to have much of a chance. And I think that altogether with his record against Nadal will set him at a very long price. Whereas Wawrinka is more competitive against Nadal. And I think he definitely will fancy his chances. I don't think he'll be a mere puppy. I think he'll still be a significant puppy, but definitely a much better priced puppy or shorter priced puppy than Gasquet would be.
Okay, now finally, before we end the show, as it stands now, who are we going to see playing in the finals, do you think?
Oh, good question. I'm really hoping for a Federer Nadal final. It's just call me a sentimentalist, but I think I'd love to see another epic final like they delivered at the 2008 Wimbledon final. Even a distant cousin would to that final would suffice, but. It's hard to look past Djokovic in the semifinals right now for Nadal, and Nadal hasn't been playing as convincingly as he usually does at the French Open, so he still really has to get through Djokovic to get to the final. And on the other side of the draw, Federer, Ferrer, Tsonga, they've got a great draw. I mean, any one of those could get into the final. If Tsonga beats Federer in the quarterfinals, then I would favor Tsonga over Ferrer or Robredo to get to the final, just because of the French factor and him being the home favorite.
Okay, Nila, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.